money out of thin air. This is an exciting topic. Stay tuned. We're going to tell you if you've just won the lottery.
Space. Air.
So good. Who knew you could be sitting on a small gold mine? Who knew?
Well, do you know what? This is really exciting because the parameters are changing as well. So at the moment, through federal government, state government, there's some initiatives coming through if you're within 800 metres, particularly 400 metres of shopping areas where will be allowing potentially new heights. So this is going to come into play even more. But Billy, we're talking about selling air. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what on earth are we talking about? Airspace
What are you talking about?
Property. So this morning, the mines were working as we were thinking about exactly what Mark said. There's changes coming in that are pretty exciting. Local councils are talking about ways to improve the density of their suburbs without sort of building out. So key corridors, along roads that service public transport, shops, healthcare. Those are sort of the key areas they're targeting and want to try and, improve this shortage of housing. And one way they're looking at doing this is what can they do with the airspace above low-rise apartments and townhouses, things like that.
Well, and to put it into basic layman's terms, if you're in a block of 4 units and good sized block of land and there's only 4 units, can you imagine if they built another 4 units on top?
Yeah.
First thing you think is, I don't want that. Like, I don't want more units on my unit block. I like my unit block because it's a small unit block. The second thing you think is, on the other hand, what's in it for me? And what's in it for people is often the value of a unit block site can be $1 million or $500,000. $1 million if it's got views, for instance, in some suburbs of Sydney. So if they had the ability to put 4 units on top of your unit block, which already has 4, there could be probably an extra $2 million for their lot owners, which is $500,000 each. And the question is, what would you do with $500,000? Would you, and you go, wow, that's a lot of money, and you go, well, I'd pay off the mortgage, and yeah, but we'd have to have building works for a year around you or 2, and you'd have another 4 people upstairs, but your block would probably get an upgrade as well. So selling the airspace above your unit is a genuine and real business where there's serious upshot for the existing owners that never knew that block had that potential. Can you show us a bit of a photo of what we're talking about, Billy Bob?
Yeah, absolutely. Glad you asked. Here we go. So this is a really, really cool example of something that's been done to probably an Art Deco block of 4, 5. Quite typically, we find these homes around the lower North Shore. This must be, probably positioned in the eastern suburbs somewhere. And you can see the conversion they've done on the top floor, building in almost like a mini penthouse. There's another angle. Beautiful deck, beautiful views. It just makes sense to do this. It just makes sense.
So you can imagine that would have been an old red terracotta roof. Like there's the conventional roof tiles. They've lifted off those roof tiles and they've just gone bang with another level up there, and they've achieved views as well. So if people can build in the airspace above unit blocks, it's going to be massive, and it could be a big upshot. So have a think about it, guys and girls. If you are living in a unit block that does have that potential to go up, talk to your local real estate agent. They may know someone who would be interested to invest. I saw there's a really cool there's a couple of companies that particularly do this only, but what they're looking for is, obviously there's a bigger uptick if there's views. But what they're looking for is if the current zoning for the area allows extra height, but the building was built such a long time ago, it didn't take advantage of that height.
And how would you go about making inquiries? Is it best to leave it to an expert, or can you do it yourself? What sort of cost are you looking at to make these changes?
Oh, I'm glad you've asked, Billy. If you go to if you Google e-spatial planning portal, it'll take you to a government site, and if you plug in your address, it'll tell you the height allowance for your exact block anywhere in New South Wales. So Google e-spatial planning portal, and then it'll whack in your address. There's a couple of steps in there to get to that PDF, but on that PDF it'll say maximum height allowable in your area. When you bring up, it'll tell you your zoning as well, and that's when you can actually take advantage of the height. Now, to give you an example, if it says something like 11 meters, and you go in and you look at that, and you look at your building and you think, I'm only one story. Like, to get one story is typically 3 meters with a bit of roof. 2 stories typically 6 meters with a bit of roof, and 3 stories typically 9 meters with a bit of roof. So if it says something like 11 meters, now some of the areas of Sydney are going to be going up to 21 meters under the new planning portal if you're an R3, and you're within your shop, close to shopping. So there may be some serious airspace movement happening in Sydney over the next couple of years that people haven't even thought about.
And to talk as an owners corporation and work out, yes, we've got space we can utilize, and yes, there's potential money here. The important thing is coming to an agreement, and whether you can gauge someone who's in the position to negotiate that for you. Maybe someone's interested in buying it.
100%. Look, your local agent knows all the developers in the area that have the capacity to do that. The local agent knows your zoning in the area. They know the value of what that would be, and then it's a good start to just have a chat to your local real estate agent about that potential. But airspace is I think it's mind-blowing that you can be sitting on something for 5 or 10 years and not even think about it, and you watch a show like this and you're like, hang on a sec, all right, maybe we can.
A friend, a family member. You could be sitting on a little gold mine, and it is going to be more and more talked about in the next couple of years. There's a big push from local council and government to do what they can to try and make some more.
You can literally, Billy, jump on a ferry in the Sydney harbour and you can spot these donkey old buildings with sexy tops on top of them, and often that's where they've utilised the airspace that wasn't utilised before, because you can see the old building, and then you see this spunky top. An example is Cafe Sydney in Sydney CBD. It's a heritage building, and then they just went pop on the top of it, and due to heritage, they couldn't touch the facade, so they've left it, and then they've just enjoyed going on top of it. There's different things to consider as well. It's not as easy as we're talking about, of course. We're real estate agents, we make it sound easy. We're salespeople. There's you may need to refire rate the building. You'll have to bring up the building to local codes and local standards, which could cost money. You may have to put a lift to enjoy that 4th floor or that 3rd floor in the building, because it's not a 2-story walk up, 3-story walk up anymore. there,
Yep.
you know, there may be parking constrictions where you actually don't meet the code with parking any longer. So there's, you know, there's lots of things to consider. But, you know, talking to your architects, your town planners, stuff like that at a later point, we'll get all that stuff sorted out. But to start from the, you know, from the very beginning, it's just check out your heights.
There you go. I think that's a good show. Making money out of air.
Make money out of air. Have a great day, man.
See ya. Thanks, Mark.
See you, Billy Bob. See ya.